Welcome back, everyone. This is Torben Anderson, and I'm the host for Rewired for Success. Thank you so much for joining. If you are a business that is committed and serious about scaling up, then you have come to exactly the right place. Today's topic is how to get happy tech teams that deliver the highest value first, faster, and always on time. So let's kick this off. So firstly, do you have a need to get your products to market quicker? Because after all, getting those products to market quicker means that you'll be more profitable. The hard fact is that time is money. For every day that your team spends time on the wrong things, you are losing a chance to sell products, whether they're using technology to do their business or indeed if they're developing software. To get profits in the door faster, we need to make sure we know exactly what the team should be doing and in what order they should be doing it. The best way to do this is to have a requirements list. Yes, just a simple list, your shopping list of requirements that you need for everyone to work through. Now, where can this be kind of sourced from? So the first thing is you can source this from anywhere. You can source this from your existing customer support, what requirements are coming in from there. You could, for example, take it from your business owner, wherever all of that is coming from. Just make sure you've got a really clear list of what people need to do. Second, you need to prioritize that list. You need to order that list of items. Now, everyone wants to do a fancy prioritization process, and you just don't really need to do it. Certainly, there are lots of techniques out there, and if you want something more specific to your industry, then just hit me up on social and I'll see what I can do. But really, a list is the prioritization. The list is in an order, and whatever is at the top of the list is what you're going to do first. Now, this may seem obvious, but this is exactly the simplest and easy way that you can make sure that your team start, on the most important item. And you might ask, well, how do you actually order stuff? So one way you could do that is to simply ask the question, what is more important than the other one? And keep sorting and ordering your list. Make sure you do it often so that you've got, the best groomed list that you have. And that's really, really important. Then also a really, really important thing is to make sure that the items on the list are what I call sufficiently granular. What we mean by that is that it's no good having a task on a list or a software item your teams are going to deliver or something your teams are going to do that is just too big. Because we as humans, we don't like to take on big tasks and big things. We like to break things down. Why? Because it gives us a sense of achievement. Yes, it does. We're all human. If we move across a small item, it takes us only a little bit of time, then we can be successful. Now, how small is small to be successful? So the best example I can give is a kind of a test on how long something will take. Now, ideally, you want something to take probably less than an hour, less than half a day, or at least less than a day. And so less than a day, if you've got a standard 8-hour day, try and aim for something like 6 hours to allow for overrun. And what this will do is that at the very least, when somebody hits a task, they will be able to complete that within the day, all things, being equal. And of course, if it goes into the next day, it does. That's not the end of the world, but absolutely gives a chance for somebody to feel like they're moving forward. So right now, if this is all about getting your products to market quicker, then again, just to recap, it is all about having a very clear requirements list, knowing where your inputs are for that requirements list, whether that's from your customers, your users, wherever those items are coming from, and then to sort that list by value, or the cost that it will cause your company to incur. The sooner you do that, the better it is for you. So you can look at cost to revenue, but the most important thing is allow people in the room to spend some time, at the start of the project. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And then importantly, to decompose and test each of those items on the list that they can be achieved, broadly with under a day. Next, does your team need to deliver a project on time? And it's not just on time, it's like come hell or high water, you have to deliver that on time. Now, we all know about corporate, deadlines. We know about regulatory deadlines. We know about, founders and CEOs needing to deliver a product to market, or for investors to be able to see progress and to deliver those things that we promised our customers, to deliver those on time. One of the best ways to do this is to systemize your teams. Yeah, systemize your teams is all about creating a system that your teams can follow. Now, we're not saying that we're not human and there won't be, other things we need to look at, and we'll look at that a little bit later on. But the most important thing is that we work out a way to systemize our teams. And the best first step is to look at how long will my teams, you know, need to deliver a particular piece of work. And we want to systemize and create a regular iteration or a regular cycle that your team works in. Now, if you're a small business, you might think of a cycle being 1 week. At Rewired, we use 1 week. If you're a bigger team, you could use a cycle of 2 weeks. Whatever it is, this creates a start and a finish for a particular piece of work. Now, why do we do this? Even if the project is, 6 months long or keeps going, why do we do this? Because what we want to do is have a sense of completion, a sense of success every week or every 2 weeks. This is super important because, again, things change in the marketplace. We want to be able to be agile. We want to be able to be nimble, to be able to pivot, all those good things. If we commit to doing something over a 2 week period, then we can kind of get to the end of that 2 weeks and see where we are, and then start all over again. Now, what's the things that you need to do in this 2 weeks period or 1 week period, whatever you choose? Firstly, you need to plan to be successful. We're not planning to fail. Yes, we know there might be things that are not completed. There might be things that we need to do, but ultimately, we need to make sure that we're successful. And the best way to do that is to plan. And to plan for 1 week, recommend that your planning window could be as long as 2 to 3 hours. If it's 2 weeks, your planning window could be 3 to 4 hours. Now, that sounds like a lot, but if you plan carefully, you can let your teams carry on, and do regular check-ins, probably every day. Check in with your team on how things are going, just for a few minutes, either on a phone line or on Slack or similar tools where you can get everyone to check in. But I can assure you this is time well spent for your teams to get, planned out. Then what we do also towards the end of a week or 2 week cycle is we, provide two things. One is a demonstration of what we've done, and that's a great way for the team to demonstrate to whoever their users are, maybe their business owner, etc. And this is a chance for feedback. So, at Rewired, after 2 weeks, I have a look at what people have done, or after a week, and they play that back for me, and I have a look at, is this exactly what I wanted? Can I just reinforce what's worked well, what hasn't worked so well? So importantly, also record any lessons learned, things that you should have done better that week, and turn them into real actions that you take into the following cycle. Now, there's a lot more to cover in this space, but this is just a simple way to systemize your teams. And of course, you want that requirements list, and you want to take the items that you want to do in that week or in that 2 weeks into your planning sessions. Finally, it is all about having a happier and more productive team. We get that through the requirements list, for example, by making sure we do the right things and that we, you know, don't redo things. We have a really clear way forward that teams can follow. But we also do it through systemization, because teams like routine. And routine means that we always know what's happening next. We always know how to progress through all the work. And that is, a productive team is a happy team. Everyone actually wants to be productive. Everyone wants to move through stuff. It's that simple. No one wants an unhappy team. Happiness comes before productivity, not the other way around. So, for example, allowing your teams not to get too big, recommending teams don't get bigger than, about 7 people. Ever wondered, for example, why, sports teams, football and rugby also, have a certain size on the field? Because it's just simply not sustainable, both from a communication perspective, and that you get a kind of a loss of, a sense of being in a team or being part of a team. So focusing on productivity now becomes really easy. Don't focus on kind of intangible behavioral things right now. We'll look at that maybe in another, episode, but just be straightforward, be practical, get your teams working, boost productivity in the way that I've said. This will save you time. Most importantly, every 2 weeks or every week, you will see progress, clear progress. There's no point in waiting, 5 months or a month or 2 months to check in with your teams and find out basically nothing's been going the way that you expected it to go. So again, I hope that's helpful. This has been all about how you keep delivering the highest value first, faster through systemization of your teams, and how you keep your team happy. Now, of course, it's also important to use some tools when you're doing this, and I will mention some in the show notes. Go have a look there. Most importantly, we at Rewired, we use Asana, and we'll mention that one. Other people use Trello. We'll make a long list for you guys, and you guys have a look, and you take a look and let me know, which one works best for you. But everyone has their favorite tool. The main thing is that everyone sees progress. Everyone can communicate with each other, particularly if your teams are in different locations, and that there's a clear way forward. So again, thank you so much for listening. I'm Torben Anderson. I'm the founder of Rewired. And I just want to again ask you a huge favor. If you could go over to your favorite podcast website and hit the subscribe button and leave a review, I really appreciate that. And I just want to say that this episode was sponsored by Process Street. So that's process.st. I really appreciate if you can find the affiliate link that I have to sponsor this episode in the show notes. Process Street is a fantastic way to set up your standard operating procedures for your business. It's a great way to, set up and design all your checklists and manage your processes. We use it Rewired. It's fantastic. We're using it with our clients, and I really get your feedback. And if you see value in it, I really appreciate you hitting that affiliate link. Thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. You take care. Till next time. Bye.